All right, optional workout number 4 has 3 sections. The section A is 6 movements: air squat, strict press, lunge, tricep extension, sumo squat, and bicep curl. You don't have a rep scheme for these. Instead, you're doing 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest for 4 rounds. The B section is also 4 rounds, but it's focused on cardio and core. So you're going to be doing 30 seconds of cardio work. Because that is the shorter part, you should be focused on going super fast, so your heart rate is increasing quite a bit, so it's more of a sprint type vibe, and then 60 seconds of the core work. I will demonstrate all that stuff rather than listing it out. And then the last section is all cardio. You will be doing 60 seconds of high intensity cardio, followed by 30 seconds of rest. Repeat another cardio set, 30 seconds of rest, and you're doing 3 rounds of that. All right, so for air squats, you're gonna be doing 40 seconds. If you wanna make this harder, you can start with a dumbbell in your hands and do as many reps as you can for 40 seconds with the dumbbell, and then remove the dumbbell and continue with an air squat without any weight. So here's air squat. If you're using weight, you would just hold it under your chin while you're doing it. All right, so for strict press, again, you could start with heavier weight so that you're really trying to move towards doing strength work. So I might use 20s for the first several, and then in the middle of the 40 seconds, I'm gonna transition down to 15s. Make sure that your ribs are staying pulled in and you're not arching or moving your pelvis around while you're doing the press. All right, for lunges, there is some benefit to going forward in a lunge as opposed to a reverse lunge, but there's also more risk to your knee. So it's your choice. If you have no knee problems, you are gonna go forward in your lunges. If you have a little bit of knee sensitivity, then you probably want to step back each time, because the shin of the front leg stays parallel to the wall in front of you, rather than the knee going forward over the toe. All right, so for tricep extension, again, this is because it's 40 seconds long, it's a pretty long set. I would start with 20 pounds first. You're gonna start with both hands on the dumbbell at the same time, equally held, core locked, pelvis neutral. Dumbbell should touch the top of your back and come up. I'm gonna turn around so you can see that. You wanna make sure that your elbows are staying narrow to your temple and that the dumbbell is touching the top of your back every time. All right, so sumo squat, you can do it weighted or unweighted. I'm gonna start with the dumbbell under my chin in a goblet position. Toes are turned out, feet are a little bit wider than your neutral squat, and you're gonna come down, try to get your butt below your knees and straight up. All right, so bicep curl, what you wanna make sure of is that your elbows are in front of your body. If you do a bicep curl with your arms down, you're gonna end up starting to swing the dumbbells up, which is a completely different exercise and focuses more on your shoulder. So elbows in front of your body, arms get completely straight so your knuckles touch the top of your quads, and then up. An entirely different exercise than the first thing that I showed. I'm able to use probably 25 pounds if my arms are swinging, and I'm only able to use 15s when my arms are not swinging. All right, so up and overs. You have a lot of different ways of doing this. You could do this on the ground so you're not really going over something. You just want to start with your feet wide, and this foot is going to stay in place, this one's going to move in, and then everything's going to move over to one side. So you start in this position, knees are a little soft, hips are a little flexed, and you're going to act like you're going up and over something like this. So your feet kiss and then they open, kiss in the air, open. Obviously you can intensify this by going faster or going higher. And then you could step this up by having an object that you're doing the up and over actually over. And then you can intensify it further by making this platform even higher if you wanted to. It would make it more muscular and it'll probably slow you down a little bit. Okay, so in shoulder taps, you want to get yourself into a plank. The wider your feet are, the easier this is going to be, because what you're trying to do is avoid letting your hips swing. So trying to keep your hips stable, challenge yourself by figuring out where your feet need to be in order to avoid any rocking in your hips. You could intensify this by using a dumbbell. So it's kind of like a hybrid between a renegade row and a shoulder tap. All right, so jack jumps, you have a lot of different ways of doing this. If you should not be jumping, if you're trying to avoid impact, if it feels a little bit challenging for you, here's the easiest way of doing it. It's more of an in and out. So 1 foot at a time comes in, 1 foot at a time comes out. And you can increase the speed. If that feels really easy for you and you want more intensity, just do a jumping jack with no arms, in and out. If you want to intensify that, you could bend upon opening your feet. So you're dropping into a squat. And then the last version of that would be, again, using something that you have to jump up to. All right, so hollow body rock. I'm going to start with the easiest version and then slowly move into the harder version. So in a hollow body rock, you're supposed to kind of be in the shape of a banana, right? Like a C shape. And what you're going to try to do is use your legs to create a little bit of a rocking motion. And as you start to get more momentum, it's going to start to feel harder to avoid touching your feet to the ground. And so what you can see that I'm doing as I'm making it harder is I'm getting my legs straighter and my arms straighter. So the longer your body is, the harder the rock is. What's most important is that you are not allowing your feet to touch the ground each time. Okay, so toe taps, pretty straightforward. The only way to make it harder or easier is basically your speed or how high the object is that you're tapping to. So you could put a kettlebell or a dumbbell on the ground, increase the height by turning your dumbbell so it's on the vertical side, and you're just going to move your feet as quickly as you feel like you can, remembering that the shorter the interval, the faster you should be moving. Remember not to put any weight on the front foot, especially if you're using an object that is not stable. All right, so plank walk. You are going to have the option of using dumbbells or no dumbbells. First, I'm going to show no dumbbells, and then I'm going to grab dumbbells in the middle of the set. So you're going to get yourself into a plank position. Your legs are straight, arms are straight, chest between your thumbs, and you're going to move your feet and your hands at the same time. If this feels easy for you, you can use dumbbells. So now it's going to be a little bit more upper body intensive to lift the dumbbell up and walk with the dumbbells. You're sort of shuffling your feet and dragging them behind. All right, so stair runs. If you don't have a set of stairs at your house or close to your house, you can also swap this out for just jogging or running. The idea with this particular workout is that you're running or jogging at a pretty high clip because you're going to have 30 seconds of rest after each cardio movement. All right, if you have a ball for wall balls, you'll use that. If you don't, you'll be using a dumbbell. The idea is the beauty or the difficulty in a wall ball is how quickly you have to shoot out of the bottom of your squat in order to project the ball. So you'll be doing the same thing with the dumbbell. So here's a wall ball, full squat, 9 to 10 feet up the wall every time. Notice that my fingertips are staying up because if they don't, the ball will not go as high. If you don't have a ball for wall balls, this is what a side-to-side dumbbell thruster looks like. And notice that same speed coming out of the bottom.